Welcome to The Explainer. This video was made by Forge College. Okay, let's dive right in. Today, we're transitioning from the absolute chaos of ad hoc debugging to building a rock-solid, documented preparation plan for your Capstone project. If you've been following along with our ENS courses, you know we've covered a lot of ground. Remember the last lesson on case studies and best practices? Yeah, we survived that. Now, it's time to take all that scattered troubleshooting knowledge and synthesize it so your code doesn't just completely break at the finish line. Here's our blueprint for today. We'll start with a quick recap, introduce an awesome mental model called the artifact suitcase, walk through a strict 5-phase packing workflow, apply it to a real-world example, and finally, get you prepped for the ultimate Capstone handoff. Step 1. Recapping our journey from debugging to integration. We are playfully, but very firmly, leaving behind the absolute dread of frantic troubleshooting. You know the feeling, right? Hunting down an incorrect content hash, linking to the completely wrong website, or realizing your ENS name hash is mismatched at the literal 11th hour. It's the worst. So we're trading that panic for the elegance of systematic validation. Your goal right now is to turn those diagnostic muscles you built into a smooth, pre-integration validation process. Moving on to Section 2, the artifact suitcase metaphor. To organize all this abstract engineering work, I want you to think of your identity artifacts as items packed into a single, labeled suitcase that you're handing over to the Capstone team. Think about it. You wouldn't just throw unlabeled, untested code at another developer and say, "Hey, good luck." No way. Every single artifact needs to be neatly packed, clearly labeled, and accompanied by definitive proof that it actually works. You're essentially handing over trust, all packed in a box. Inside our metaphorical suitcase, we're going to have 3 highly functional folders. First up, the identity folder. This holds the canonical facts, the undeniable truths, like raw ENS name strings and resolver addresses. Second, the security folder, tracking protections like multi-sig status. And third, the evidence folder. This one is absolutely crucial. It's your irrefutable proof. We're talking screenshots, logs, and transaction hashes that show successful writes on-chain. Now, here's the real game changer. Every artifact must have a backup plan. We call this a remediation card. It's basically an explicit, minimal set of steps to fix verification failures. For example, if the integration team finds that a resolver address on record is stale, this card tells them exactly how to perform a secure resolver migration, which transaction to submit, and what post-migration checks to run. This stops stalled integrations dead in their tracks when a team scrambles to rediscover the state. You're giving them the fix before the problem even slows them down. Section 3, the 5-phase packing workflow. These 5 phases form a rock-solid, concrete workflow that you can honestly knock out in a single sitting. We've got inventory, verify, secure validate, document, and sign off. It's like a giant puzzle, where each phase produces a small piece that feeds directly into the next. So we start phases 1 and 2 by listing every single ENS name and its resolver. Then you verify each one end to end. And here's a pro tip for you. Always verify using independent RPC endpoints. That means querying the blockchain directly through an outside server, so your local computer doesn't trick you with cached data. You run a concrete read operation and capture that proof straight into your evidence folder. Next up, in phases 3 and 4, we run our security checks to confirm things like multi-sig thresholds and resolver permissions. If any check fails, or if you spot a vulnerability, you immediately map it to a specific remediation action. Maybe that's a safe migration, or perhaps a governance proposal. Then, you compile the whole shebang, all those artifacts, the evidence, and the remediation steps, into one comprehensive handoff document. Finally, this sign-off phase. This is our ultimate quality control check. You walk through every single checklist item, ensuring the evidence is actually accessible and no artifact is left without a clear verification and remediation path. You literally mark items as verified, remediation pending, or not applicable. It proves to the receiving team that, hey, you've done the work. All right, Section 4. Let's look at a practical example. Packing Alice's at F. To see this in action, imagine your application uses the ENS name aliceapp.eth for an IPFS-hosted profile. It's basically a decentralized website. Now, how do we ensure this specific identity artifact survives the Capstone integration without causing hours of delay or throwing unexpected errors? Let's pack its suitcase. Take a look at how explicit this minimal per-artifact structure is. We pair the artifact, in this case, aliceapp.eth, with its exact verification method, calling the owner. We clearly state the acceptance criteria. The owner must equal the expected address. We link the transaction hash as evidence. And crucially, we have our remediation plan ready to go. If it fails, migrate the resolver. Zero ambiguity. It's literally foolproof. Now, during the secure validate step for alisap.eth, we also review the security posture. If we spot that the registry owner is a single private key, an externally owned account or EOA, our remediation card instantly flags it. We recommend migrating ownership to a multi-sig, and we even attach the governance transaction template that will execute it. See what we're doing here? You're anticipating security roadblocks before they even happen. By the time you're done, you assemble everything into a final handoff file. You've got your changelog, your artifact inventory CSV, and links to your evidence folder. But here is the truly brilliant part. By throwing a tiny, automated how-to-reproduce script into our suitcase, you save the Capstone team hours of tedious back and forth. Because, let's be real, if there's one thing developers love, it's a script that just does the testing for them. And finally, Section 5, handoff for the Capstone. Let's wrap up our engineering schematic and look at how this timeline builds. We've moved from the past, deep in the weeds of debugging stale records, into the present, where we've synthesized an artifact validation checklist. This preparation is exactly what sets you up perfectly for the future, which is writing reliable Capstone integration code without getting bogged down in discovery and rework. As you move forward, I want you to burn these 3 guiding principles into your brain. Number 1, always pair an artifact with its reproducible verification method. Number 2, always have a backup plan via a remediation card. And number 3, always maintain a documented security posture so you know exactly who controls the keys. Honestly, these principles make the difference between a fragile integration and an unbreakable one. So I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. Are your identity artifacts packed, proven, and ready for the final integration? Take this checklist, your evidence, and your remediation cards right into the next lesson on planning ENS integration. And hey, don't forget to visit forge.college to explore even more awesome Web3 programs. This video was made by Forge College. You have the blueprint now, so go build it.